Hello! This is the last episode of the one episode rule for 2020. I'm Magpie. And this year's been a real fucking lemon, ain't it?
It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah. We're almost done.
It's almost finished, and then we can move on to whatever 2021's terrible problem is, like being attacked by the snake people.
Yeah,
Or,
well,
Yeah.
you know.
at least that horror is easier to grapple with.
Yeah, at least you can, at least you can physically fight them. Anyway.
But what is this going to mean for the Ohio volcano refugees?
They'll be fine.
You picked that one up.
Yeah.
Wolves have appeared. I read that and I was just like, fucking Night Stalkers from New Vegas? That monster already exists. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm
Sounds good.
I'm Blackle. I'm performing a severe podcast sin by chewing on a lifesaver gummy while we're recording. So
I can't believe this. Hello, I'm Joey, and I am being a good little student of the craft. It's been a while since we've said that one.
There was always such menace in it. For me personally.
We're good little students of the craft.
that's because you've never been a good little student of the craft, Magpie.
It's true, I teach the craft.
Oh.
Alright. Well, I guess we'll just get into the news then. No objections? Yeah. Alright. How do I want to tackle this one? So, Studio Kara is currently making or has already made, and they're the rights holders for the Evangelion franchise.
Yes.
They made the Rebuild movies, I think. They made the most recent one anyway. And that's a big deal for a lot of people. And I'm watching them right now make a just dreadful mistake. Because what Studio Kara has done is offer guidelines for Evangelion fan content.
Oh my. Oh my.
And many things are not allowed.
Okay, wait, I need to ask a question. Are they giving guidelines for people, like, to sell merch? Or, like, are they just trying to say,
Oh, no.
hey,
don't worry.
We're just policing your fan content?
Yeah, don't worry. It's not about sales. It's about policing your fan content.
Oh my fucking god.
Some things you aren't allowed to draw are very violent content, hateful or racist content.
Okay, fair.
You can't have the characters espouse political ideologies, which, given that this is a company, means that probably no gay fic, because they will consider it a political ideology.
Oh, man.
And also, no pornography.
Oh, nope. That one's right out.
I don't think that's possible.
So what Studio Kara has done is ask everyone to make shitloads of communist pornography.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's terrible. Did they not learn anything from when Atlas tried to do this less severely? And it blew
what
up in their
power do they
face?
have?
Like, how do they expect to control any of this?
There's no way.
Like, the only thing they can really do is drive people who draw doshinji out of, like, official events. But those people are still going to do it, and many of them will be beyond your reach because they are
they're going to do it
to spite
so
you.
much.
In fact,
I feel like
porn.
I feel like this is going to make people start making more porn just out of spite.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, well, cracks knuckles.
People got up in the morning, they read this headline, and they said, all right, let's go over there and fuck up the place.
Also, the violence one just concerns me given the way the show is.
Given what Ava is.
Yeah.
But,
wow.
It's honestly just beyond questions of, like, should you make this content? People are going to now make this content. Anyway, moving on. I like to sandwich. I like to sandwich things between. So here's a nugget of unadulterated goodness. that we didn't get to last time. Netflix has announced Agretsuko Season 4.
Yes.
I
Yes,
am going to
yes.
watch that as soon as I finish watching Season 3. Because
You gotta finish it. It's a good one.
I fell off it like everything else. Although
The
I did
episodes are pretty short, so
I know, right? I really like the Cheetah Man. I hope he does all right. Anyway,
he's good.
he's terribly stupid, but I like it.
Yes, it's true.
So that's an unadulterated little nugget of goodness.
We can all appreciate this.
No, appreciate more Retsuko.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is also a nugget of goodness, but in a different way, and only for certain palates. Because, and I'm gonna, since Emma isn't here for this one, I think she's house sitting for somebody right now. I'm gonna throw this one out for her. Earlier today, Jim Belushi asked if there were any anime fans out there. You know, the sitcom comedian. He said in a tweet, "Are there any anime fans out there? I always loved Studio Ghibli after I worked with him." By the way, I looked it up. He was in My Neighbors the Yamadas. He was the dad.
Oh shit!
Which I haven't watched yet, but I mean to.
Yeah. Huh.
He loves them, but he doesn't know much about it otherwise. But he just saw your name and it blew him away. What is out there? Come on, some of you guys have to be nerds. Fess up. So this
God, what has he been Can we get some of the suggestions?
Number one is Boku no Pico. So
no
of course
mistakes.
people are going to peep pornography on him.
No.
But I kind of like I like to think that the kind of person who asked this question and did at least work with Studio Ghibli knows to look shit up before watching it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just really the best part of this is I want you to just imagine if he asked you this question in person in like your living room. You were
I
like
would first
sitting
be like,
down.
why are you in my home?
Oh yeah, you were just like sitting down to like a early dinner or something.
I'm just imagining this like being like a friggin' Videodrome scenario where he's on TV and it just looks directly at you and asks you that question.
Oh no!
Sitcom father Jim Belushi is just, according to fucking Jim, it's just be like, hey, have you heard about this anime?
Cox Gun. Can you have any anime that you might suggest to me?
Have you heard of this Cowboy Bebop? I've thought about watching it. That was originally going to be all of it, but he did tweet again about 4 hours ago with this, which is apparently a lot of people think anime and cannabis go together. I guess I'm set.
Holy shit!
So,
I guess I'm pardon?
I guess I'm set.
Oh,
for all the for the humor we've extracted from you, Mr. Belushi, I hope that you have a great session of watching Trigun and getting just fucking baked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do it.
Because that sounds like a rad time, and I would love to be there with you for it.
Oh man, don't we all just wish we could get high with Jim Belushi and watch anime?
Get ruined and watch Helsing?
Yeah.
So, what shows were he in? Because
he's in he's been in a lot of TV, couple of movies. He was the thing I know him from is According to Jim, which is on like syndicated television, fucking everywhere, forever. Where he plays a typical dumbass sitcom dad like Homer. So yeah, that's the news.
he was in Hey Arnold.
Was he in Hey Arnold?
Yep.
Who was he?
He was the coach.
Of course he was.
For 4 episodes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He was also a coach in Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius for 3 episodes.
Seems like a chill dude.
Wow.
This is incredibly useful content, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. Blackle, you mentioned before the show that you were actually looking up news too. Can I inquire as to what you wanted to talk about?
Yeah. So I went to my premier news source for anime news, which is NHK World Japan at a Glance stories, which are those 2-minute clips that have extremely incredible music for what they actually are, which is just like bite-sized pieces of news with like subtitles instead of like a narrator.
Can you please, for sorry, just a tangent. Can you please tell everyone how you attempted to get a hold of that music?
Right. So last episode, we were talked about. I did the news from NHK before, and I didn't talk about this one, but there was, because it wasn't anime related, but there was one, and it was called Train Swatters, and it was about a family of kittens who was living in like this like train cafe where this guy like had built this like big train set, and the cast just like bounced around and played with the trains and stuff like that, and it was incredibly cute. But for some reason, the music was like hardcore industrial. Like it was like the How It's Made theme music, and it was really good. Like I really liked it, and so I was like, I need to find this music. So I emailed NHK World Japan, and I asked them, please, I desperately need to know what music this is. And they said, we have no idea. So apparently, whoever's making the at a glance videos is just pulling music from somewhere, and they're not keeping records of what the music is, which is incredible.
Nice.
Anyway, so that lead is broken, but let's talk about this other thing. So, the only like really anime related news article I found was called Gifu Museum Opens Anime Sword Exhibit. So basically there's a museum in Gifu Prefecture, and I did a little bit more digging to figure out what exactly it was. Sekai City, Sekai or
wait, Sekai City? S-E-K-I?
Yes.
Holy shit, that's where they make all the pocket knives I want. Anyway, go ahead.
So it's funny you say that, because I did anyway. So I watched this, and I wasn't paying completely attention, so I didn't notice that they name dropped the actual name of the museum in the video, because in the description and the title it just says Gifu Museum. It doesn't say like which museum, because there's a lot, and I think I counted there's like 3 sword museums in Gifu. So I had to track down which one it was, and I gotta say, like, falling into this rabbit hole of trying to figure out like what, because I wanted to learn also what anime they were, because they don't really talk about. Like, I see Boy and the Beast in the thumbnail, but I don't recognize any of the other anime. So I was desperately trying to search for the like website for this, for this museum. First of all, which museum it was, which I figured out, and also what their schedule is. And the closest I got was this machine translated page, and I just want to say at the very top it says, this page is translated using machine translation. Please note that the content may not be 100% accurate. And the closest thing I could get to it confirming that at the Seke Swordsmith Museum that they're having this exhibition is the sentence, special plan exhibition from December 4th to February 1st, plan two-dimensional versus Japanese sword exhibition of the 15th anniversary of the merger of the 70th anniversary of the municipal organization. So the closest I got was the phrase two-dimensional versus sword exhibition. I think that means manga. And that's the closest thing I can get. And that's the horror of being a English, like a monolingual speaker of English, trying desperately to search for some random piece of Japanese information. And I just wanted to share that with you all. And before I go with this segment, I also wanted to mention that the other sword museum, which is a knife museum. It's not a sword museum, it's a knife museum. It's a Canadian-style log house built of American wood, located in Seki City, the mecca of cutlery, surrounded by rich nature. And the pictures here, I'm going to post a link to this page, but there is a giant pocket knife called the Gulliver's Special Knife, presumably a reference to Gulliver's Travels. And there's also a picture of a Swiss Army knife, which looks like it has 1,000 knives inside of it. So I'm just going to drop that here and also drop the pictures so people can look at it. Anyway, that was the excitement that I had in my life today, was looking at this page.
Oh,
jeez.
I just want you to look at how big the Gulliver Special Knife is, because it's quite large.
Oh! It's a knife that would literally be like, oh my god, it's like 20 feet tall, probably.
It looks like if you turn that into a boat, you could sail across the world. It's like the size of like a small sailboat, it looks like.
Oh God.
Jesus Christ! All right, was that the bit then?
Yeah, that's a bit. That's pretty much all I had to say
All right.
about the various knife and sword museums in Sekko City, or rather, whatever the name of the prefecture was. But yeah, anyway, that was what I had to say.
So,
I'm speechless. Oh.
I don't know. I was thinking about going over everything we watched in this year and just getting a quick yes or no on it.
Oh, holy shit.
See if you could remember what all we hit.
Oh my god, I'm scared.
All right.
Scared? All
This
right.
sounds like a fun game.
All right. What did we think of Zombieland Saga?
Yes, good.
Okay.
All right. Is it wrong to pick up Girls in a Dungeon?
Bad.
Okay.
Beautiful Bones Sakurako's Investigation.
It was
No.
good, I thought.
Oh, you didn't like that one, huh?
Nope.
Super Robot Wars.
I forgot.
Don't
I
remember it.
might not have been there for that one.
That was the one where the lady was in the weird pod held up by all the chains, and we freaked out about it.
Was that the one where
Completely
they were doing like
unforgettable.
robot push-ups?
Yeah, no, that was Gunbuster.
Oh God, we've watched
Completely
too many
forgettable.
stupid robot shows.
What about Mr. Stone?
Yes,
All
It
right.
was
I've
okay.
finished that one.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Backstreet Girls, the one that we didn't watch.
Unspeakable.
Unspeakable. Or Monogatari. I love that show.
Yes,
That show's fucking
good show.
incredible.
I don't remember that show.
That's the one with the huge dude who loves the small girl.
Yeah, it was very cute and wholesome.
Oh yeah, I do remember. That was good.
Gotta
Let's
watch
see.
more of that one.
Love is like a cocktail.
Meh.
Didn't like it.
Centaur's Life. Oh, the one that destroyed it.
Please
That one was.
destroy
I
our
forgot
horse.
about that one. This is early in the year, right? Where we thought everything was going to be okay. It's bringing back memories.
Let's see. Polar Bear Cafe. We like that, right?
Yeah, that was okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Keep your hands off Isaacon.
Oh, Isaacin was good.
I love Isaacon.
Yeah, that one was good.
I think
Let's say it.
I'm going to come out with it. I'm pretty sure that's the best thing that came out this year. So,
Yeah.
That's,
would
that's
say
a
so.
fair assertion.
Blood Blockade Battlefront.
Yes.
Maybe.
Higurashi bears no discussion. It is
That might have been my favorite thing we watched this year.
It's far larger than this discussion has time for.
Yeah.
Izakai and Nobu. That was the one where they had the bar.
Oh.
It wasn't
meh.
bad. It was just meh.
It wasn't bad. It was so-so.
None of us remember anything from Starship Troopers OVA, except that the backgrounds were extremely vaporwave.
The only thing I remember is the dude like spinning around a stripper pole. And, like,
I remember
floating.
laughing really hard because they brought a pistol out and we were joking that it looked like he was gonna get executed on the
yeah.
football field.
Let's see. Saint Young Men. That was the one with Jesus and Buddha. I like that show.
That was
No,
kind of
so
fun.
It was
yeah.
okay. I learned a lot about religion on that episode.
Let's see. Hazuki's Cool-Headedness. That's the one about, that was the one about hell, right?
That one,
Yes.
that one
Yeah.
That one
wasn't
was-
for me.
Let's see.
It was.
We watched Bomberman Jetters. That one.
But bum bum.
That one, that one was beyond criticism. That one was
100% worth it for the music.
great. Yeah, 100. You gotta watch at least the first episode.
Mr. Tanagawa.
Don't
Yes.
remember that.
That was the.
Honestly,
that was the kaiju one.
honestly, I
Oh.
find the kaiju-related media to be kind of charming, actually.
I remember now. I don't remember anything that happened other than them standing in a friggin' boardroom. That was it. That's all I remember.
Let's see. Adventures of Tom Sawyer.
That was good.
Nah.
I liked it.
Nah.
Golden Kamuy.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I can understand that it was good, but I didn't like it that much.
Another. That was the one where we were just...
No. Absolutely not.
Let's see. Cannon Busters.
I don't
meh.
remember anything about that one.
No.
Lord of Vermilion, the Crimson King.
Bad.
Awful.
I can't believe I watched the
Dumb.
second episode of that.
Let's see. Dororo.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I can
could watch
understand
more of
that. The
that
only thing I
sometime.
liked about that was the intro music,
Hmm.
which I purchased and listened to a lot.
No Guns Life. That was the one with the man who had a gun for a face.
I remember
I
enjoying
don't
it, but
think I watched that.
I didn't follow through with finishing it.
Let's see. Strawberry Panic.
I think I kind of liked it. What was it? That was the one about them, like...
That was the one about the aggressive
That was the
lesbian.
really gay one, yeah.
Yeah. Was that the one they were like...
Blacker, we don't have time!
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
We must continue.
What did you think of Flip Flappers?
I don't know how I feel about it, especially since I was compared to the
That
one
one
protagonist.
was, yeah, also sus.
Let's see. All of us were disgusted by Punchline.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah,
Darcy's
kinda
Wing
bad.
cannot be discussed in polite company.
We will perish.
Megalobox.
I liked it.
That was okay.
Oh, Megalobox is cool.
Yeah.
Did you watch all of Megalobox or something?
I did.
Okay. Cute High Earth Defense Club Love.
That one was kind of a fun time.
It unlocked secret memories, which is interesting.
Yeah, that one was Angel Beats.
Yes.
Bad.
I kind of enjoyed it. I
That
would
was the
watch
one with
more.
the Gun Factory and shit, right?
Yep.
All right. Please Teacher. Nobody liked Please
No.
Teacher.
Everyone
Dear
just
God,
liked
no.
that.
Negima. I don't think anybody liked that
Also,
either.
no.
Which one was that one about? Oh, fuck,
That was
sorry.
the one with the student he was like 10 and he had like a school to
right.
teach the
Yeah.
classroom.
Okay.
I don't know.
Move on.
Asterisk War. This is part of our little sub arc about hating
Yeah,
high
it
school.
was bad.
Bad.
Corpse Party Tortured Souls was laughable.
No, so bad.
The World Yamazukan was hilarious.
That one was fun.
It was enjoyable.
I forget what Black Bullet is about.
It was bad. That's what it was about.
It was the one with the weird bugs.
It
The
was
bug
all
aliens.
the big Geigen motherfuckers.
Yes.
And the deeply uncomfortable children.
It wasn't great.
We watched Shoujo Cassette.
That one was
Meh. Boring.
reprehensible. That was
the
reprehensible because it was incredibly boring.
That was the Les Mis adaptation. We watched Genku Tsuo, which everybody thought was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Saren Zanmai, which I was not available for. But
That
sounds
was the
like
ass-based anime.
sounds like it traumatized all of you.
I had a fun
It
time.
did.
I
I
liked
could
it.
see myself watching more.
Yeah.
The Pet Girl of Sakura. What is that? Sakura-so.
Oh, I missed that one and it seemed bad.
That one was very strange. And then the last one was the Christmas episode, which
was surprisingly not horrible.
Which was
Okay.
It was more fun than I expected.
We do have an update about that because we did watch the second episode.
We
and
did watch all of it.
It was the same episode, just during August.
Yeah, it was the same episode, and it was so incomprehensibly boring compared to the first episode. Like,
It was.
What was that?
I don't know. It was just the same thing. But it's
if
been
you
a
ever
full
watch it,
year.
just watch the first one and don't watch the second one. I can't believe we.
I think if you told me if you went back to that and said that we wouldn't recommend the second episode, our immediate assumption would have been that it was reprehensible and disgusting. But the real answer is that it was incredibly boring.
Let's see.
Much.
So I would ask like what your favorite thing of the year was, but there's no question. It was Aizuken. So let's move on.
Yeah, let's go.
Dr. Stone.
Oh.
But
I didn't ask.
Well.
Jojo, pick an anime first of all.
Okay, so
we're gonna get out of here. Time's wasted.
It's time to watch our last anime of the year, and I have decided that we haven't watched any of those Crunchyroll exclusive animes yet.
Oh my.
Oh god.
So this is an anime that has been created specifically for Crunchyroll, and it is called Onyx Equinox, and I know nothing about it.
Didn't you just cancel your Crunchyroll subscription?
It won't run out until January, so we're good.
So we're just gonna get this last jab at him. All right.
Get this last little bit in.
I've seen commercials for this. Otherwise I have no idea what it is. So
yeah, me neither.
See, Crunchyroll, this is what you get for not sponsoring us, is we're canceling our subscription.
Was that anime?
Okay,
Um,
this is why I said we're gonna get in trouble
You gonna get in trouble with Emma?
with Emma. This is not at all Japanese in origin.
It looks like anime.
it
It
is.
looks like anime.
It looks
it
like.
is-
It looks like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
It looks like Avatar: The Last Airbender. That
It
is
does
my
look
only
like
note. I
Avatar.
didn't take any others because I was trying to pay attention.
So, at least I think I can sum up my main feeling about this show
All right.
Mhm.
with the sentence that it really felt like I was watching an incredibly long cold opening for Ben 10.
Yeah, this show was like, it does feel like something I would watch on like Nickelodeon or something.
Yeah.
But then it's exceptionally violent,
But then the blood.
and then
Yeah.
the titties.
Oh
even
yeah.
that felt
And then
like
the blood
even that
everywhere.
didn't feel that extreme.
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah,
know,
that was
just
that-
about it was just really
Honestly, that's really that's par for the course on how to do like tasteful minor nudity because
Yeah,
it was completely
like it was
de-emphasized.
fine.
Yeah. Also, the blood looked like it, it looked like stage
blood was
blood, even though it was
very juicy.
cartooned. Even though it was a cartoon, it looked fake.
I know, it did look kind of fake.
I think they wanted to like super emphasize it, so they made it really, 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 really red.
Yeah, that makes sense.
God, but it was also like glistening and like it looked like it was corn syrup.
So let's see what happened in this episode.
Can we get a blurb for the show?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we should probably have a blurb.
I don't have a blurb anywhere.
I got the blurb.
Oh god.
I didn't
Okay,
know.
give us
I
that
didn't
blurb.
arrange this shit.
I got a description from Wikipedia.
All right, I guess I'll get it.
Oh, that's a long one.
Okay, the Mexica Aztec god of the underworld. Oh my
Good
god.
luck. This is like us trying to pronounce the Japanese name,
Me-
except
Mictlan Tecutli has begun stealing blood sacrifices from the other gods, culminating in a Zapotec city being leveled. To these ends, Quetzalcoatl decides to close the gates to the underworld, but can't due to said gates being made of obsidian, which is toxic to the gods. So instead, he makes a bet with, oh god, Tezcatlipoca. He will find a human, the lowest of the low, and crown one his champion so that they will close the gates before the equinox, when Tezcatlipoca will kill off humanity. Tezcatlipoca agrees to the bet, but sends the god Yaotl so that Quetzalcoatl doesn't cheat. I know some Nahuatl words, but they are rough on my English tongue.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
I
This is how
can't-
I feel when I try to read the Japanese names.
Well, the thing is Japanese names are all all the syllables are always the same.
I know, but
But
for
I
some
can't
reason
even-
my brain cannot process that, and I keep
can't
trying to
even-
pronounce it like it's Downton Abbey.
I can't even process some of the basic Nahuatl syllables.
Yeah, it's hard when you're not. It's like not.
Only
Like pretty different.
Only some of my ancestors are from the same side of the world as this language, so.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that's the premise.
The premise, what actually happens is basically it's a regular day in Aztec City, and whoops, the sacrifices weren't enough. Looks like the gods are going to sink the city.
Yep,
Yeah.
they're gonna come eat you guys up.
And then the
lots
god
of
of the
evil slime monsters appear and start eating everyone.
the god of the underworld says, "Oop, gonna eat that one," and they try and they try and summon avatars of the other gods, and wasn't enough.
Mhm.
Wasn't enough to bring them forth.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then there's this. It focuses him on this woman, this young lady who has to run home to her family, and they just at that moment, her family is being attacked by the blob monster, and it absorbs her dad and her mother, and
They struggle. The gods clash. It's a kaiju fight.
was that young lady the same young lady in the rest of the show, or is this a different person?
I feel like this is.
Don't
a
think
different
that was the
character.
same one. Yeah.
she'll probably come into it later.
I could see that.
I hope so, because she was by far the only interesting character to me.
The rest of the show was switches to just like the really sad life of some Aztec refugees in a Maya city.
Yeah.
That panics and says we have to do a blood sacrifice because the gods are fighting, and they pick this boy's older sister, and it's very sad.
Yeah.
So okay, I need to know, like, why did she have to be the one? Like, it seemed like there was a specific reason that it had to be one of them, and I didn't really understand that.
It wasn't a specific reason. It's because they were foreigners.
Oh, okay, I see.
Because they didn't want to sacrifice a local.
Gotcha.
So it was going to be one of the two, and she was just like, "I'll take the boy's place."
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Cool, that's
He's
really
just
good
like-
then. That's
he's
good
just
for
like-
me."
That makes the blood extra good.
Yeah. Yeah, and then she gets sacrificed. And the kid, her younger brother, is very sad about it, and he like jumps off of the altar that they murked her on.
Yeah.
He falls into the water, and it turns out he's the chosen one.
Yeah.
And even though I thought for
lowest of
sure
the
the
low.
girl would be the chosen one, I don't know, for some reason. Maybe because I still thought it was the same girl from the first part.
That's probably why. But
Yeah.
no, the Quetzalcoatl specifically said he was going to pick a trash human being. So he
Right.
picked somebody who was completely psychologically broken.
Yeah. And then he like goes into he like falls down this big hole into some water. He
It's
hits
called-
his head on an underwater rock.
I know what this is. It's a cenote.
Nice.
It is both well and sacrificial receptacle.
That doesn't. I feel like you shouldn't drink water out of the sacrifice hole.
It's
Well,
been
listen.
diluted, it's fine.
Listen, if you're the Maya, the only fresh water that you know of comes from these holes.
Well,
And
it's not fresh anymore if you put bodies in there, is what I'm saying.
And without it, you die. So that's obviously where the gods live and where you have to deliver the sacrifices.
Yeah.
There are no
Yes.
rivers in their land. So
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. But yeah, so he falls in, and then like a weird god trash creature comes out who looks like one of the Ben 10
Yes.
creatures.
Big cat.
And
yeah, that's a spirit. That's probably the thing the other god picked.
Yeah, the other god. Did we talk about how they were doing like a whole like bargain for a
it
minute
was a
there?
whole exposition thing, and I was barely holding on to comprehension.
I don't know why. It's pretty easy to pay attention to. But
You know, the
I don't
gods
know.
were
I
just
just didn't like. I didn't like get. Like I didn't like. I don't know. I think it's part of like my almost nigh inability to understand mysticism. I don't know.
Okay.
I just kept thinking like, but why do you need blood?
because they need blood.
That's what they used
It's,
to
it's
live.
presupposed.
Sort of.
Right.
That's why they were talking about a blood famine or something. They were
Yeah,
like, we
blood
don't have enough
Couldn't you
blood.
just not have blood?
No,
no,
apparently they can't.
because
Okay.
it is suggested later that they fucking die if they don't have blood.
These
So-
thirsty little gods.
Really? Okay. I see.
Hey, this was the whole basis of the Maya and Aztec civilization. So,
Yeah.
Right.
but anyway, basically that scene just boils down to people with superpowers standing in a room having a weird conversation. So,
Yeah.
It was funny because before that happened, like the whole city destruction, that for some reason that part was like extremely like not interesting to me. I was like, okay, I don't know about
yeah,
this
big
show.
monsters.
That
But
was-
when the people like got possessed by the gods and they were having their like weird like god meeting, I was like, okay, all right, now I'm interested.
Well,
Yeah.
that was visually
Intriguing now.
interesting. Like
it
that
was
whole
visually interesting.
And they were
too,
like
yes.
slowly decaying because the bodies couldn't hold the
It
gods.
looked fucking rad, is what
Yeah.
I'll say.
I
And they
liked
were-
that part.
they were taking
think-
on more of their individual gods' appearance at the same time.
Yes,
Yeah.
as it like progressed, I liked that.
I think that the reason why I didn't like the kaiju fight was because it was like really too ambitious for its own good, and the art was bad. Like the animation in this show was not good.
I don't know about that.
I think I just thought I saw a lot of really weird posing and like really like I don't know. I just didn't like it.
Artistically, the show was pretty all right.
I
Yeah,
think
I
I
thought it
think
was pretty
artistically
okay.
and stylistically I didn't like it.
Hmm.
Um
Well, I can't tell
because
you
it looked
you're
like Ben
wrong.
10.
I mean, I can't tell you you're wrong for not liking a style, but I can tell you you're wrong that it's bad.
Okay.
Anyway.
That's fair. But I think I also didn't like the voice acting.
Now,
The voice acting wasn't great.
see,
Yeah.
that's where I was going to go, because this was artistically interesting and quite ambitious. Like, the whole scene where they were having the gods were having the conversation is
Yes.
like emblematic of that. I particularly like the smoke that was constantly coming out of that one guy, but
Yeah.
I like the old guy that was just like melting.
he's just
Yes.
so the voice acting is the problem, because this show did actually, it stirred some emotion in me, but only on the caliber of its visual storytelling.
Yeah.
Because the voice acting was horrendous.
Yeah.
Woof.
It sounded like they just got people from around the Crunchyroll offices to voice these
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah. It sounded like those like the cassette tapes that your teacher would put on to help you learn a new language, and just like people talking extremely clearly.
Yeah, like enunciating it. And some of them were trying to do accents, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. They missed Aztec and landed in Peter Stormare.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
It was.
I was very unnerved by many of them.
Yeah.
And the pacing with some of the line delivery was like super, like they would say things like really fast, and there would be like not enough like time for it felt like there were parts where there should have been like a beat of silence before the next thing was
because the camera
said,
was lingering.
Also, there was no emotion. Like no one had like any real personality.
Yeah, they didn't.
Found.
Yeah.
Like the boy's voice acting is especially bad.
Yeah.
He sounds like a Jonathan Taylor Thomas. It's.
I think the moment where like he ran up the steps and was like pleading, like it's just blood, right? Like they could have put a lot of emotion to that, and they just didn't.
There was nothing. It was flat.
Yeah.
That was an emotionally stagnant scene because of the.
Yeah.
I wonder if this show is any better like dubbed.
And what?
Because this is technically the original. Like,
should we watch the Spanish dub?
Sure.
Yeah, like there is a Spanish dub, I believe.
We could watch the Spanish dub. From what I've seen of Spanish dubbing, they tend to be a little extra.
Yeah, like
they might actually put some spin on it.
Yeah.
We'll watch it Spanish dubbed and then with English subtitles.
Yes, please.
So I will have to say, I'm looking at the voice actors right now.
Mm-hmm.
We got Sungwon Cho in here. Hey, do you want to know who played the god that sent the jaguar creature?
Who?
That was Aaron Hansen.
Wait.
Oh.
Wait, Aaron Hansen?
Aaron Hansen from the Game Grumps.
Oh my.
Like the Egoraptor?
Yes!
Holy shit.
Holy shit,
how
man.
can this be?
I know Sungwon is going to do a good job, at least.
Yeah, he's a character that I don't believe has been in here yet.
With whatever they give us for him. Oh, shit. Jim Belushi's going to be in there next.
Oh my gosh.
He's going to be like, hey, I can be in an anime.
Yes, I've done it before. Shit, even I'm better than this.
But anyhow.
Yeah, I would say that's the only people who, like, I'm not sure Aaron did a great job, but the whole scene with the gods, all of them seem to be putting in a little more work. So
I think that was
that scene was the best part of the show.
Yeah, the best part of the show.
So far that we've seen.
And I'll give them credit for not dragging their ass with a bunch of exposition.
Yeah, they
almost
did get
no
right
exposition.
into it.
I'm weirdly on the other side. I feel like they could have at least put a little bit, just at least one thing.
I don't know. I feel like they gave us enough. It's just like, oh, the gods are fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you're supposed to experience this from like the human's perspective, and the human perspective is, oh god,
Oh god, everything's
What the
happening
fuck?
right now. It's
Yeah.
happening so much.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why you could be persuaded to do anything for the gods in this situation, though, because all of
Yeah.
them seem malicious.
Mhm. I
Can't
feel
they
like
just let the gods starve? Like,
yeah,
I guess the gods would just get mad and hunt them. Then I
Yeah.
don't know.
and then that's a different anime.
That's a different show.
I
Attack on
think if I could like give a bit of constructive critique as someone who's never made an anime or a TV show or anything, but I
Sure,
think
give us
that
your learned opinion.
my unlearned opinion. I think that the moment when his sister is executed or sacrificed, and then he's just sort of like sitting over her blood pool, like
Yeah,
just
for
staring
all
at
day.
it, and then like it cuts to him like still there. I think that would have hit better if they put the gods talking scene in there and they cut back to him and he's still there. It'd be like, whoa, what the fuck? He's still there, LMAO. That would have been so good.
That, pacing wise, I could maybe agree to that.
I can kind of see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only other pacing thing they did is I feel like it's good that the priest didn't let her finish her sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like,
That was really fucked up. I was like, damn.
we gotta get down to business.
And then
yeah,
the
you have
blood
to die.
like splatters on his face, and I'm like,
God.
oh, holy shit!
Gods
They
are
did
hungry.
just do that, huh?
Although this show could have been worse. I'll give them that, because
Yeah.
I know how they actually did sacrifices.
Oh
It
yeah.
would have been a lot messier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brutal.
Yeah.
So
I think I just want to come back to why I didn't like the art. I think it was mostly the background art.
yeah, background art
You think-
was a little wonky in places.
I think it was really bland. Like there was one scene where the clouds were like coming over top of like the Aztec like pyramid, and it just looked like someone quickly modeled something up in Blender, rendered it with flat shading, and then just put like a Photoshop filter over it. Like I could
feel
tell
like
that it was
that's what
actually
happened.
drawn, but it looked like that.
Yeah.
Well, you can do drawing in Blender too, so I
Oh,
feel
I
like
know.
that was. I feel like that's actually a likely case for some of the background.
I just
I
thought
don't
that it
necess-
was like there was no other greebles in the scene. Like it was just fat. It was just flat. Like
I don't necessarily think that I thought the background art was bad, but I did think it was like forgettable and that I can't super summon it in my mind.
yeah.
It's just sort of like red and white pyramids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do we think about this? Did you watch another episode of Onyx show?
I would consider watching more. I kind of expected this to be a little better. Also, again, I do have to get back to that whole like this feels like it was made for kids vibe.
But
that
it's clearly not. Like
There's so much
it's
blood.
clearly not. But like, you see what I'm saying with the
no,
vibe,
I see what
right?
you're saying.
Like,
Like
I'm
the
not sure.
level. Okay, so here's that deal: is when you think of like an adult cartoon show, you're expecting a level of depth to like characterization and like emotion and that stuff.
yeah,
But-
I don't know.
and
Again,
then
it
maybe-
could partially also be the dub.
Yeah,
Well,
and then
it's
maybe
the dub in the first episode.
Yeah.
They haven't had
True.
enough time to do any of that shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe on top of that, there's like there's like blood and guts and like nudity and stuff like that. It looks like they only added the blood, guts, and nudity and didn't add any other like depth to it.
Mm.
I don't necessarily agree. I think that this show, it intrigued me. Again, I was expecting it to be a little better, but I don't think it was bad. I would consider watching more of this.
I tell you what, I didn't expect Aztec shit.
It's not
I
what
was-
you were expecting, huh?
I was glad to finally see people of color.
Yeah, that's the other thing is like, this is like not a high school anime, right?
Yes.
Definitely not
Thank
a high
God.
school anime. It doesn't take place in Japan, and it focuses entirely on Mexica characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
That's a breath of fresh
that
air.
does give it like some bit of an edge.
Mhm. I would like to watch the Spanish dub of the second episode.
Yeah, I
down for
kind of
that.
feel it.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
If we
I
can
think
find
that would I am-
sub Spanish dub.
I am so hopeful that they put more emotion into it. Like
Yeah.
because I would just imagine that like if it was like Mexican voice actors, they might be a little bit more passionate about the source material. Well, not the source material, but like inspirations.
I don't
Here's
know,
the
maybe.
other thing is, as English speakers, I think we're not going to be able to tell as much if the dub's like not good.
Oh yeah, that's
if
true.
it's in a language we don't speak.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Sometimes emotion comes through regardless. Like I think we've had some Japanese like content where we watch the sub and we can kind of tell that like there was no emotion to the way people are talking.
like I don't know. I'll be real. I play the Yakuza games exclusively with Japanese audio, and I don't know if it's a good dub, but I prefer it.
Right.
So yeah, second episode, but Spanish dubbed.
Yes,
yeah,
please.
let's do it.
Well, all right. If you out there have suggestions about what languages to watch what shows in, you can send those to oneepisodecast@gmail.com.
And that is one the word, not the number. And Emma's
Also-
not here to introduce our Twitter, so also tweet
Twitter.
us.
Same place, basically.
We are also at One Episode Cast there.
Catch us trying to make friends with Jim Belushi on twitter.com.
Gosh.
Damn, we should tweet him some anime recs on our
Yeah.
anime Twitter.
Yeah. Watch Juden-chan.
Oh my god.
And then we're blocked.
Yeah, instantaneously. Like I've heard of that before, and we're blocked.
Wait, what? Wait, what? You've heard of that?